Hi, welcome to a 5-minute lesson on how to begin a personal recount. We're going to look at how to choose a good starting point, and I'm going to teach you specifically what to write in the first paragraph. Before that, let's talk about some of the common mistakes that students tend to make when they try to begin a personal recount. Some students write boring events that took place from the very start of the day. For example, one sunny day I woke up on my bed when my alarm clock rang. I walked to the bathroom and started brushing my teeth. My mother made breakfast for me and I ate it. After that, I took a bus to school. I was very excited about the excursion. Now, this is a recount about an excursion, a school excursion. But this student chose to start off his or her personal recount by telling me details that are very boring. For example, waking up on your bed. Everybody already knows that, okay? When your alarm clock rang, whose alarm clock doesn't ring? I mean, all these details are quite useless and they are not very, they have no special relevance to the excursion itself. So you do not have to begin your personal recount from the very start of the day. So let's say this is the breakdown of the list of events, the series of events that the student is writing his recount about. So he So the day started off at 7 a.m. when the student woke up, brushed his teeth, had breakfast, 7:20 bus, 7:50 he reached the school, 8 o'clock the teacher started briefing them, 8:10 on their way to the museum on the coach, 9 a.m. they reached the museum, they went on a tour, 11 they completed the tour, 12 they reached school. Okay, so which is a better starting point? You don't have to start at 7 a.m. because at 7 a.m. all these details are quite boring. And if you write such things, okay, you will be you will not score high, okay, high marks, okay, you will not score high marks when we want to consider your content, okay, when your teacher considers your content, we will not score you on the high side, okay. So what should you do? You can push back the timing a little bit and try to start off somewhere where there's some action. Okay, I think a good starting point is 8 a.m. because at least there's some action where the teacher is briefing the students about the excursion. At least there's some action to talk about here. All these, honestly, these are quite useless. Alright, so you can start off your first paragraph by talking about the setting. Setting means the place or time where the events happen. Alright, so setting means place or time, or place and time actually. Okay, so this is an example. It was after examinations and my school organized an excursion to the museum for all secondary 1 students. We gathered in the school on that day to take a coach to the museum. So I have the time here and I got the place here. Alright, so I kind of mentioned them naturally in my first paragraph. Example number 2, half of the students were not paying attention when the teacher was briefing us about our first post-examination excursion. So you know the time, post-examination. Everyone was excited about visiting the museum. When a coach for our class finally arrived, we cheered noisily, much to our form teacher's dismay. This is a slightly more interesting introduction compared to example number 1, but both are okay. Okay, both are okay in terms of the content, alright, but number 2 has better vocabulary and sounds more interesting. Alternatively, you can introduce the people involved in your first paragraph. Don't just list the people. So for example, don't just say the people who are going on the excursion were my form teachers, my classmates, and I. It's a bit boring. Try to mention the people naturally. It was after examinations and my school organized an excursion to the museum for all secondary 1 students. So naturally, you just mention about the students. We gathered in the school on that day to take a coach to the museum. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. Alright, so to summarize, it's not good to begin your personal recount right from the start if those events are not interesting at all. Usually it's not. Alright, usually those events are not interesting. We should introduce the setting and the people in the first paragraph. So while you're writing your first personal recount assignment, make sure you don't start off your personal recount with boring details such as brushing of teeth